Hello, this is Dr. Ben Finio, joined by some of my daughter's Beanie Babies, and in this video, I'll be showing you how to share your PowerPoint slides in Zoom. Now, I do have a lot of other Zoom tutorials covering topics like sharing your screen in general or using Zoom with two monitors, so this video is specifically going to focus on PowerPoint and the scenario where many of you might be encountering this fall if you are teaching in person, so you have your laptop connected to a projector in a classroom, but you might also have some students dialing in via Zoom. So to start, I am assuming you know how to make a PowerPoint presentation. This is not a PowerPoint tutorial. In general, when you're sharing something in Zoom, I recommend closing all of your other programs besides Zoom and your PowerPoint that you plan to share before the meeting. This will reduce clutter and the odds that you inadvertently share something embarrassing like your email. So you can see on my taskbar down here, I just have Zoom, PowerPoint, and Camtasia, which is the program I'm using to record this tutorial. So you can toggle back and forth between Zoom and your PowerPoint, but just because you open PowerPoint on your screen does not mean your students can see it. In order to do that, you need to use the Share Screen feature in Zoom. So to share your screen, you click the Share Screen button down here at the bottom, and I recommend that you just select your PowerPoint file. So Zoom does give you an option to share everything that is on a monitor, meaning you can switch back and forth between programs. But if you're only going to be sharing your PowerPoint, it's easier to just pick that PowerPoint file, and again, that reduces the odds that you will inadvertently share something else that you may have left open, like your email. So select your PowerPoint file, click Share in the bottom right, and you will immediately switch to this Share Screen mode where your Zoom controls collapse at the top, so don't panic if you see those disappear. They're not at the bottom anymore. That's because they hide up at the top. You need to move your mouse up there to get those back. You have a Stop Share button if you want to stop sharing, but everybody else is now going to see the content that is on your screen here. So you'll notice that I am not in presenter mode. My participants are going to be viewing my PowerPoint in edit mode right now, where they can see the toolbar and everything. So you're going to want to launch your slideshow so the participants actually see the full screen slides. You do that by clicking the View Slideshow button down here in the lower right, or by going to the Slideshow menu up at the top and clicking From Beginning. Now, if you have two monitors connected, or if you have your laptop connected to an external display like a projector, you might have a problem if PowerPoint displays presenter view. So this is the view where it gives you a preview of the next slide and your notes. Zoom might be sharing this depending which monitor it's on. You can switch that by going up to Display Settings and click Swap Presenter View and Slideshow. So if you have people in your meeting saying, we don't see the full screen slides, we see presenter view, that's what you need to do to switch. Now, if you're a teacher, you have a couple different options here depending on what you want to see. Especially if you're only on one monitor, this little floating window with the thumbnails in it could be kind of annoying for you because it's blocking your slides. So if you want to, you can just minimize this. However, some teachers might want to keep an eye on their students, so you can keep this open. This is where having a second monitor really does come in handy. I have a separate video about that linked in the playlist in the description below this video. But if you do have a separate monitor, you can enable a dual monitor mode in Zoom that will give you a much larger full gallery view instead of just a few thumbnails here. And you can drag this over to the second monitor so you can have your slides on one screen and your gallery view of your students on the other screen. Now, if that is the case, you might not want presenter view at all because you don't want PowerPoint hogging both of your monitors. So you can turn that off by going back into PowerPoint. So hit Escape to exit your presentation. Go to this slideshow menu up at the top, uncheck this box for Use Presenter View. Then when you go into presentation mode, PowerPoint is only going to show your main slides on one monitor and the other monitor will remain free, for example, for your Zoom gallery view or any other program you would like to have open. Now, as of September 2020, Zoom does have a new feature in beta that allows you to use your PowerPoint slides as a virtual background. This will give you sort of a weather person green screen effect where you can be in front of your slides and point at things. So you can access that by going to the Share Screen button again, select the Advanced tab, and then select PowerPoint as virtual background. Zoom will then prompt you to navigate to the file after you click the Share button and actually open the file from within Zoom. So click Share. I'm going to select my PowerPoint file, hit Open, and now you can see that Zoom is putting me in front of the slides. So there are some limitations to this, as there are with the regular virtual background feature. It might not do a perfect job detecting the shape around your hair, and you can see it's kind of putting me in a little box down here where it cuts off my hand after a certain point. You can click and drag this around though, so if you want to put yourself in a different location, you can also resize yourself. So if you do want this for your students to be able to see you in front of your slides so you can point at things, this is an option, but you have to be careful because the controls are now within Zoom. So I just tried using my keyboard to advance the slides like I would in PowerPoint. That isn't working. You see I now have this little button down here that I can use to advance the slides, along with a menu that gives me a couple more options. So I can split the video out from PowerPoint separately, so that has removed me from in front of the video, and I can merge that again if I want to pop back in. If at any point you want to cancel that completely, you decide you don't like it, you want to go back to your regular PowerPoint controls, you just hit the Stop Share button, select Share Screen again, and now you would go back to the Basic tab, select your PowerPoint file, and now I am back to regular sharing where I have the regular PowerPoint interface and I can use my keyboard, or if you have a pointer, you could use that clicker to advance the slides. So as always, I hope you found that video useful, especially if you are teaching online due to the COVID-19 pandemic. If you have a question or a suggestion for another tutorial, please go ahead and leave a comment below this video. Thank you.